Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
I was called a teen idol, right? And teen idols get a real bad rap. They're often called, one-hit wonders, or it's just a pretty face. But I think if you take almost any artist, anyone, even some of the most brilliant artists, if you look at them when they were teenagers and you watch them sing, they didn't have it together when they were young. Like, there aren't too many Michael Jacksons and Stevie Wonders out there. Like, most people take time to find their sound. I mean, even if you look at Bob Marley, look at some of his early stuff. He was doing some very different music from what he ended up doing later. It took time for him to get to that point. And of course, I still think of Bob Marley as a genius, but sometimes you have to develop your skills and
so you
develop
can come
a
into your own.
sound to come into your own. And I think what happens with a lot of teen artists is that you're constantly doing interviews, and the people doing the interviews are saying, so what is this? Like, are you really a musician? Or you just a pretty face? Or what's going on here? And a lot of teen idols will get a lot of attention first because it's a cool song. They look good. It's a new thing. But then when you're constantly berated by people that are focusing on your negatives, it causes a reaction from the teen idols. And I think that's why a lot of them, you see their image change, but it doesn't change all that naturally. A lot of times when I watch these artists, they take a hard change.
Like a reaction to fit in, or a reaction to be like up yours?
I think both, actually, right? So some, I won't mention any artists, but like you have one artist that might be like really known as like the girl next door, the guy next door, whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden they're doing videos that you're like, what?
And just what I'm wondering is that like predators and so, you know what I mean? Like maybe they got traumatized at some point too, and then you have a big switch. No?
I don't know. I think the big switch in many cases, in my opinion, from what I've seen, is that I think sometimes as artists, when we get into survival mode, that's when you get a reaction. If you corner someone, then you're going to get a bad reaction out of it. And I think when you're in the music industry and all of a sudden you're making money and you don't realize that as soon as you make that I would get $100,000 check, not knowing that $50,000 that you're going to go to taxes. So don't spend that $100,000. You might want to spend $5,000, and then you don't know when that next check is going to come. So you're in a situation where even if you're popular, you're making a lot of money right off the bat, like not a ton of money, but in little, 50,000 here, 20,000 here. I'd sing for like 20 minutes and make 50,000, and then not make any money for the next month. So this false perception that you're actually doing really well, but you're not. And one thing I've always done is I always, every year, paid my taxes. I would hear the stories about people getting into trouble. So every year I took it to the accountant every year. And every year, at the end of the year, I was left with pretty much nothing. So you're in that situation where you're trying to survive. You're successful. You're seen as being successful. So what do you do? And what I've seen a lot of people do is they have side businesses, and to make the money. In some cases, when I was doing a lot of hip hop music, a lot of them were selling drugs on the side. Some people think, they're just caving into drugs. But no, sometimes it's because it's an actual business and they're trying to survive. And it allows them to continue to live this high lifestyle. And in some cases, you have people like myself who really was just looking to survive. And if it meant that I had to try and sing a different style of music, then hey, you know what? I like listening to R&B music. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'll give it a whirl. In retrospect today, I should have done it. I mean, I'm glad I met Bobby. I'm glad I got to work with all these people. I'm glad. But that wasn't what I wanted to do musically.
So if you could do it again, you would say no.
I would have said, you know what? I'm going to go to another label. I'm going to look for another deal.
Or I'm going to ask Bobby Brown to do grunge.
No, I think, I don't know what would have happened if I would have said no. Maybe they would have said, okay. Maybe if I had bargained, they might have said, okay, we'll work with you. But I think they were pretty much done with me, though. I think from about 1987 to about 1991, 92, the people really started moving away from the male artists that sings love songs. It's just moving away from that. And so I didn't think that I had any bargaining power. But who knows what would have happened? I don't know.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.